This is at 95th and Escanaba. This is the area that is roped off with police tape after that discovery of more than 50 bodies in various stages of decomposition were found improperly stored inside of this funeral home. Now, here's the thing. There have been neighbors who've been telling us that they've noticed this foul odor. I want you to hear from one man who described it to us last night.
I do have relatives that live in the neighborhood. Every time I come through here, I smell a foul smell in the air. And I was wondering what that smell was. I would smell like rotten sewer and just a foul smell.
But there was no one. Then they called the people. They weren't answering the phone. They were saying that police got everything surrounded. We couldn't do nothing. So we was sitting there waiting for his body. Never. The funeral was tomorrow, so there ain't gonna be no funeral tomorrow.
Yo, face. Your face, please, with sugar on top.
Y'all, it looks like things are officially getting weird. As if there's already not too many weird things such as homicides or cold cases going on in Chicago. To add salt to injury, there have been a bunch of deceased bodies found in a basement of a funeral home where neighbors in the area have been complaining about the smell for a long time now. Now, if you don't know anything about the stench of a deceased body, it's almost like something you can't even fathom. You can't even describe. It's a smell that you don't even put into words because you can't. So if one body smells like that, imagine 57 bodies in one basement altogether combining the smells. As noted, the smell was so bad that it plagued the whole neighborhood when you walk past a certain area, which just goes to show how strong the smell actually was. According to reports as well, just as we expected, there were a bunch of maggots all over the bodies, which is understandable being that the bodies were basically decomposing and left to rot, I guess until somebody found them. Now, before we even get into the story, y'all, this right here plays right into the narrative of what I've been telling y'all for the longest. Places like Chicago having mercenaries, and also these hospitals and places all in cahoots with each other, allegedly, because there's one or two things that could be possible here. These 57 bodies are 57 people that either have been missing or they belong to somebody, but however, they were left there to be decomposed. Or these are bodies of people who were unalived, however, maybe body parts were taken, organs, who knows? Or maybe it was waiting to be done. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, 57 bodies being stored in the basement of a funeral home just isn't normal. Honestly, this don't seem like something the average individual would be involved in. If you ask me, this seems like something that involved many people, whether it's an organization or whatever, because 57 bodies being hauled into a basement unnoticed, yeah, something don't seem right. And maybe one or two bodies that's left, we can understand that in the funeral home. But 57 bodies is crazy. And with all the ring cameras they have these days, flock cameras, red light or security cameras, you mean to tell me that nobody's seen anything? Nothing was captured, no people, none of the neighbors outside, just the smell? I don't know. But all I'm saying is 57 deceased bodies just don't go unnoticed like that, so someone had to have seen something. But we're going to get into the reports and see what's being said and bring up a few possibilities of things that can all be true as well. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hype the video so we can get into the algorithm, and if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Hold up, y'all. There's no way you're watching this video for free right now, but you could be getting paid literally just for playing games while this video play in the background at the same time. Only difference is the increase in your bank account. Now, I'm not saying you'll get rich, but I am saying that you could easily make something while doing nothing except for sitting on the couch playing games if you download the app Free Cash. Tap or click the link I pinned in the comment section or scan the QR code that I put right here on the screen. Also, if you use my link right now, they give you a little something to start off with just for signing up. So if you want a little Uber Eats or something to snack on and don't feel like dipping into your own wallet, play a few games so you don't have to spend your own ends. Now let's get back to the video.
And this is not the first time she has been in trouble with the state. Last year, similar allegations were made when she ran the Heights crematory in Chicago Heights. She and her husband were fined several $1,000s over the years and agreed to close after the state moved to revoke her license.
I mean, they've been caught for this stuff before, like in another location, so it's crazy that they let them open back up.
Now we're going to get into the Sun-Times news article. It's a little lengthy, so we're just going to take certain parts where it also explains that the funeral home owners have a faulty past of the same type of behavior, but yet nothing was done. It was ignored, and now we here back in the same place, just a different area. So what's really going on here? The Sun-Times news article will state, quote, several bodies are being loaded into vehicles Friday morning, apparently being taken to the Cook County Medical Examiner's office after dozens of decomposing bodies were found at a far south side funeral home. The remains of at least 3 bodies were seen by Sun-Times news reporters being placed into an unmarked sport utility vehicle outside the South Chicago Chapel, 2939 East 95th Street. As of about 9 a.m., additional remains were loaded into another vehicle. Police, acting on the tip, showed up at the chapel Thursday after hearing bodies at the South Darien Funeral Home were not being stored at or below 40 degrees as required by state regulations, according to a police report obtained by the Sun-Times. While a police report said a funeral was in progress at the time, family members said the funeral home was supposed to deliver their loved one's body to the church for a wake Thursday, but the body never arrived. Officers were met by funeral director Clark Morgan, who accompanied them on a walkthrough of the building, according to the police report. During the walkthrough, they found 57 bodies in various areas of the funeral home. The bodies were not refrigerated and were in various states of decomposition, according to the report. At some point, officers left the building, and when they tried to go back inside, Morgan told officers that on the advice of his attorney, he wasn't letting them back in without a warrant. After officers told Morgan they did not need a warrant to inspect the building during operating hours, he padlocked the door and left, according to the report. Officers then called the Chicago Fire Department to help gain entry into the building. The business license was revoked Wednesday, according to the police report. It was initially unclear why police didn't visit the funeral home until the next day. A Friday statement from Illinois Comptroller Susanna Mendoza said while the South Chicago Chapel is not under the IOC's jurisdiction, they are familiar with the funeral home's operators, Joanna and Clark Morgan, for their egregious past practices while operating the Heights Crematory, which was a similar situation in 2025. The IOC permanently shut down Heights Crematory in Chicago Heights last year after investigators found several improperly stored bodies and hundreds of cremated remains that had never been returned to their families, Mendoza said in a statement. The Clarks ran that business too. The area around the home was blocked off by police Thursday night as some neighbors milled about. At least one person came to the scene because she wanted to ask police officers whether her mother's remains had been found. The funeral was July 18th, and the woman said the funeral home had dodged her calls Thursday. She had been told she would have access to her mom's cremated remains less than 2 weeks after the funeral. It was now nearing 3. The foul smell that hung in the air Thursday night started during the winter, several neighbors told the Sun-Times. One pair of neighbors said that they were surprised by the late hours people worked at the funeral home. One neighbor, who worked a night shift, said he'd often see vehicles in the lot past midnight and an upstairs light on in the funeral home. The neighbor said they put up traps for the thousands of flies that emanated from the building. They, along with other neighbors, reported it to law enforcement 6 months ago, they said. The Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation suspended the license of the registered funeral director, Joanna Morgan. Her husband previously held the funeral director and embalmer intern license, which was revoked in 2024, according to the department. That department alerted authorities after investigating. A message left on the voicemail inbox of the funeral home Thursday was not returned. A 1-star Google review of the chapel posted 2 weeks ago complained, "Horrible. It smells and they are very unprofessional." Now it's a bunch of red flags here, y'all. For one, who was the person that tipped off the police about the funeral home and why? Secondly, why wasn't the funeral director arrested right then and there? Reports say that after they were tipped off, they went to the funeral home, found all those bodies which weren't stored correctly, then the funeral director pulled like a fast one, and after they left, he told them they can't come back in without a warrant. But once they was already let in, noticed that a law was broke, how did they still need a warrant? And why wasn't he arrested? Clearly because a law was broke by storing bodies below the legal temperature. Keep in mind, a funeral was going on at the same time. So could you imagine having a funeral dealing with the grief of already losing a loved one, only to see police coming inside the same funeral home that your loved one is in? That's crazy. On top of all that, it stated that it was initially unclear why police didn't visit the funeral home until the next day. So you mean to tell me y'all are notified that there's multiple bodies left decomposing below legal temperature, y'all find out that it is in fact true, but yet y'all decided to leave it alone and come back the next day? Those are somebody's loved ones. And the part that I'm confused about is the fact that it states that the Illinois comptroller is already familiar with the funeral home operators because in 2025 they were operating a crematory where they were also accused of doing the same thing before. Then in 2024, the husband, who him and his wife are the operators of the funeral home, had his funeral director and embalmer intern license revoked in 2024, which means that he just got his wife to get hers so he can get a funeral home, but he will be the one running it behind the scenes. She's just the face. So this is concerning on many levels. He needs to be arrested or some type of penalty need to be exercised. Actually, for them both. Not only was it a crime committed, but these people are messing with people's loved ones and God only knows what else goes down. If these bodies are decomposed to the point where they're smelling, this tells me that they don't have any intention of having a funeral for them because how? Right? And if they're there for that long to have the place smelling like that, it tells me that there may be more to the story. Maybe parts are being sold, maybe other things are being sold, I don't know, allegedly. But I do know that something smells funny and it ain't just those bodies. Hopefully the bodies could properly be identified and investigators can find out more behind their death and possibly piece something together like that. Who knows? Maybe you may find some people who's been missing and return them to their families. I don't know. Neighbors claim that there were people in the funeral home around midnight past working hours, so there's no telling what's going on. There's another lady that said it was a funeral for a mother, I think in July 18th, and it's now August 7th. And she says she haven't heard back from them since. So it's a lot going on. They're playing with people's families. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. How do y'all feel about 57 decomposed bodies being found in the basement of a funeral home? What y'all think it means? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out. Hold up, y'all. There's no way you're watching this video for free right now. Well, you could be getting paid literally just for playing games while this video play in the background at the same time. Only difference is the increase in your bank account. Now, I'm not saying you'll get rich, but I am saying that you could easily make something while doing nothing except for sitting on the couch playing games if you download the app Free Cash. Tap or click the link I pinned in the comment section or scan the QR code that I put right here on the screen. Also, if you use my link right now, they give you a little something to start off with just for signing up. So if you want a little Uber Eats or something to snack on and don't feel like dipping into your own wallet, play a few games so you don't have to spend your own ends. Now let's get back to the video.